If you were going to commit murder, how would you do it? I took a sip from the badly mixed drink and eyed Jilly over the rim of the red plastic cup. Izzy, that's a bullshit question, and you know it. She scooted away and tapped her leg impatiently. Smoke whirled around us and scattered the light from the small stage. Everything in Nadine's bar was painted a now fading black, with signs from defunct liquor companies and since relocated sports teams covering the walls. I had never been to this bar before, but it resembled many of the other small hole-in-the-walls that sat moldering around this area. "I'm serious," I called out to her. Jilly glared, keeping her face straight ahead and not looking directly at me. I could just see her fuming expression at the angle her face was turned. She tugged on a strand of dark hair as if to hide from me. We hadn't been getting along very well lately. At the other end of the bar was a man who was hidden in shadows. I couldn't see his face, but he called out to us, "Are you stupid? There was a guy killed here in a fight a few years ago, so you better shut up before you piss somebody else off." "Damn it," I muttered. I would have pounded my fist down on the bar, but the worn wood was warped and wet. It didn't look like something I wanted to touch. The relative darkness just beyond its barrier made the whole bar look like some sort of creepy alchemist lab. Dusty top-shelf bottles formed a pyramid display lit up at the center of the bar, one light flickering on them in a failing effort to stay on. The beer taps, however, looked brand new, and the modern touchscreen cash register seemed wildly out of place. Not far from where I stood was the main entrance. A table was set up where the local promoter was checking identification and collecting the cover for tonight's show. Friday was a good night to play, but feeling a bitter twist in my stomach, I knew we'd make more if it was Saturday. The promoter, a stout older woman with a deep tan and frizzy red hair, was pacing around smoking furiously. I could never remember her name, but that wasn't unusual for me. I had a feeling that this was going to be one hell of a lousy night. "Hey!" She looked at me and marched over. "Evening. Hope there's a good crowd tonight," I said. She looked at me like I was the biggest idiot on earth. "Isn't smoking in bars illegal?" I asked with a grin and raised my drink in mock salute to the cigarette dangling from her mouth. "Just get your shit on the stage and your ass up there right at 8 sharp. You guys are opening and I don't want any fuck-ups. The only reason I booked your band is because Mark used to play here." The cigarette never left her mouth as she ranted on, and I began to tune her out, looking for a way to escape this one-way conversation. Once the promoter stomped off to make a phone call, I ordered Jilly her favorite drink, a tequila sunrise. There was a new bartender who had taken over since we'd gotten our first round. She was a petite blonde who looked me up and down for what felt like the longest minutes of my life, before she finally said, "I've seen you guys play before. Pretty good stuff, but I hope you have some actual fans coming tonight. This isn't really the type of place for a girl band, you know." "Oh, well, we can always make some new ones." I took the drink from her with an attempt at a sly flirtation, ignoring her insult. "Mixed drinks aren't free for bands, by the way," she said. "Sorry." Okay. The first girl gave them to us for free," I protested, but gave her my debit card to open a tab. Who really knew how much was in my bank account? For the past week, I had been too scared to check. I took the tequila sunrise over to Jilly like the peace offering it was. "Look, I'm sorry about what happened, Jilly. I really am. I always say stupid stuff without thinking." I smiled and tried to look penitent. A look of weariness had replaced the anger that had sparked her brown eyes only moments ago, and I felt guilty. Jilly looked so amazing sitting there in her ripped-up fishnets, black jean skirt, and a red corset that made her deep brown skin somehow glow even more. I knew it was hard on her playing at these dive bars where one could encounter a racist comment at any moment. In the past, more than one person had said something nasty to her about being a black woman who drummed. Every time, those people had ended up with my fist in their face. I wished we could find better gigs. Well, it's not okay, but I appreciate the drink. It's not all your fault, Izzy. I watched with a twinge of sadness as her ruby red lips took a dainty sip from the straw. Julie reached out to smooth the lapel of the black vest I had on. It was too intimate a moment for me, and I flinched. If she noticed, she didn't let on. I tried to cover over my sudden nervousness at being so close to her. Hey, if what that guy said was true about someone dying here, maybe we should come back and do some ghost hunting like we used to. You know that's not going to happen, Iz. Sheesh. Now it was her turn to change the subject. It's getting late. Where's Mark? The Poison Fruits by M. Hager, Galaxy Moth Press, coming June 3rd, 2025. Check the links below. It will be available in paperback and ebook.